All right, everybody. On behalf of Trident Title, Performance Title, and Synergy Title, want to welcome you guys to the 8-week follow-up plan that you need. I like talking about follow-up because this is something that not only real estate agents, but salespeople in general always struggle with, myself included. So really creating, crafting, building, and following a system for follow-up is the way to go. What most people do is what we all do, right? We meet someone new and we try to remember, and we remember for a little bit until it's not important enough to remember, or until something else comes up that forces us to remember about that. And then we forget about people, right? So we need to have an 8-week follow-up plan in place to make sure that we solidify these relationships. So we're going to talk about that today, and you're going to leave with one that you can actually build as we are going through the Zoom. And then you can leave with something that you can put right in place. So it should be nice and easy. So nice and easy agenda today. We're just going to do some quick questions, see where everybody kind of stands on the follow-up issue. And then we're going to talk about what an actual follow-up plan looks like. And we're going to build out an 8-week plan for you. And then we're just going to wrap it up and do a summary. So nice and easy one today, but something that you should be able to leave within a half hour and take action and build something out very, very easily. So that's what I want to make sure that you guys do today. Most of you guys I know. Those of you that I don't, my name's Ryan McHugh. I work with Trident Performance and Synergy to help all of you guys build out your business and grow your business. All we ask is that if you learn something on these classes, you give us an opportunity to earn your title business. Without further ado, let's dive in here. The 8-week follow-up plan that you need. So a couple quick questions. The first one's an obvious one. I know this is going to be a yes, but just want to make sure everyone's playing along in the chat here. Question number one, how many of us have met someone new this year? Just say yes or no in the chat if you've met someone new this year. Just making sure everybody's awake. I know it's early for some of us, right? All right, we got one person at least, so that's good. All right, so we've met someone new this year. Now, the next question is, how many of those people did you just forget to put in your database? Can you think of someone that you met at happy hour, at the dog park, at an open house, at Target, wherever, that we just think now that I said this question, we're thinking, crap, yeah, definitely forgot to put that person in our database. Right? That's a pretty standard thing that we forget. And then more importantly, how many of us just totally forgot to follow up at all? Right? We just didn't follow up at all. It happens all the time, right? We meet someone and we just totally forget. So maybe we did an open house over the weekend, and now me putting this slide up makes you think about that, right? But we did an open house Saturday or Sunday, and then we just forgot to follow up. We forgot to put them in our database. And it just happens, right? It's life. It's not just you. Believe me, everybody on this call, even the people that are not saying yes, we've all done it before. So no judgment if it's you or if it's happened. Don't stress. Don't worry about it. But that's why we need a system, right? We always used to have a rule on our team that if something happens twice, it needs to have a system. So can you meet somebody? Can you meet new people more than once, right? You're always going to meet someone. You're always going to be meeting new people. So it happens more than once in your life. It happens at least twice. So obviously that means you need to have a system for that. And that's what we're going to focus on today. I just want to turn this around and make sure that you get out of here with the most simple system that you can possibly do. So what you need is what we call an 8x8. It's 8 steps or 8 touches over the course of 8 weeks. So let's just say, let's stick with that open house example for the rest of the day, just to make it easy. So if we met someone yesterday, Sunday, October 10th, at an open house, that would be day 0 or week 0. And then today, day 1, week 1, our clock starts rolling on something that we need to do, a system that we need to put in place. So my goal today is to help you guys understand and really have a very simple one that anyone of any production level, any skill level, any technology level can implement. So whenever you leave here today, one of the last slides is all 8 of these things built out as a follow-up plan for you to put in place. And no one's allowed to have an excuse. It doesn't matter if you're brand new, if you've sold 1 million houses, or if you've sold none. It doesn't matter if you have 2 people in your database, 20, 200, or 2,000. Either way, at any level, you need to have this plan. And if you want to scale and you want to grow, this is a must. So it's going to be nice and easy to kind of follow along. So what does it look like, right? Again, day 0, yesterday, we meet someone at an open house, and then the action has to start today. And this is not something that we a la carte, right? So it's not, oh, I like that idea, I'm going to do number 1, and then I'm going to skip and do number 4 or 5, and then I'm going to skip 6 and do 7, and I don't like 8, right? For this to work, we need to stay top of mind. And to do that, we need the 8 touches over the 8 weeks. And if you look at some companies that are really good at this, one of the ones I think of is Home Depot. And I've used this example, in a class like this before, but I always think of Home Depot. So if you ever go to Home Depot and you buy something, they're really great at email capture, and they make you think that they're not capturing email, but they ask you if they can send you the receipt via email so you don't lose the paper one, or so that you don't have to worry about the paper one. And then when you put that in, okay, they have your email, which is great. If you're working on a job, maybe a renovation project, maybe something for your house, they'll ask you, do you have a job name, or is this tied to a certain address, right? So they're getting some more information there. But what they do really well starts when you leave that store. So yeah, they email you your receipt or print it, or you have the option to get both. But when they leave, the first couple of weeks, they hammer you with the follow-up. Usually the same day after they send you that email receipt, they'll do like a, hey, how's everything going? Then a day or two later, it'll be like, how's the job going? Do you need help? We have classes in the stores. Then they'll send you maybe a small discount, right? Or why Home Depot is better, or whatever. Their goal over those first 8 weeks, they know whatever you're working on is kind of hot in your mind over those first 2 months or 3 months. So they want to keep swaying you to come back to Home Depot, because what a lot of people do is they wake up Saturday morning or Sunday morning and decide they need to paint their house or do some trim or fix something in the kitchen or the bathroom or the family room or whatever. So they go to Home Depot, and they get to Home Depot. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I do this pretty much every time. They get to Home Depot and they buy something. Let's just say they buy trim, right? They're going to, I don't know, do molding. So they go and buy molding, and they actually remember to measure it and get it cut there and everything. So it's great. So they do that, and then they get home and they start laying it out, and they say, crap, I forgot something. And they need either a tool, or they need paint, or they need caulk, or they need a drop cloth, or whatever it is they need. And now they go to wherever's top of mind. And the obvious answer is that they go back to Home Depot, because they've already been to Home Depot, but they don't. They now think, all right, do I go to Home Depot? Do I go to Lowe's? Do I go to Ace? Do I go to Walmart? Do I go to Target? Where do I go to get whatever I need next? And Home Depot does a great job following up with you over those first couple of weeks to make sure that you come back to Home Depot. They check in on your job via email, right? They check in on, if you need anything else. They remind you with classes. They do all these different things. They have a follow-up plan in place that is really, really good. And real estate agents, we need to learn from something like that, right? Because if we know that a company like Home Depot is doing it, who's doing pretty well, we need to look at how we do that and kind of add that into our business as well. So we do that with an 8x8 or an 8-week follow-up plan that is systematic, meaning every time we meet someone for the first time, it either sets off a trigger in our database that puts them on this follow-up plan, or we just know that every time we meet someone and add them in, they have to go on one of these new follow-up plans. So here's what it looks like. Week number 1. So again, day 0, yesterday, we meet them at an open house. Day 1, week 1 starts, let's say today. And now we have to go forward from today through the next week. And anywhere in this first week, this is our first step. It's nice and simple. It can be the same thing every time. It's very not pushy, not salesy, not a hardcore annoying script that we have to memorize, just some very simple points. So anytime in week 1, we're going to call them, not text them. We're going to call them with the "it was great meeting you" script, right? So we're just going to say, hey, Joe Smith, just wanted to call and say hi, let you know how excited I was to meet you on Sunday at my open house at 123 Main Street. It was great chatting with you about your plans to move to Jupiter and getting to know you a bit. So I just want to make sure you have all my contact information in case you ever need anything. The number I'm calling you from is my cell, and here's my email. I just shot it to you in a text. What's yours? Great. Talk to you soon. Right. So nice and easy, just reconnecting, reminding them where they met us or who we were or something that we talked about, and making sure we have contact information correct. So this one's very easy, very painless, right? But I just want you to think, a lot of people will go out and they say, okay, Sunday, honey, let's go visit open houses Sunday, right? And they go to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 open houses in one day. So if you don't do something to stand out and to have some sort of follow-up plan in place, guess what? Most of them, they just forget, right? Because if they went to 10 open houses on Sunday, there's a good chance that only like 1, maybe 2 of the realtors actually followed up. So if you're one of those 2, you're already ahead of the curve. And a simple script like this that you can just program into whatever contact management system you're using, whatever company you're with, whatever piece of technology that you use, it doesn't necessarily matter. In every one of those, you can program in an 8-week follow-up plan that has the same steps every time. So week 1, just copy and paste this script in and use this nice, simple script that you remember no matter what. If you add someone to your database within the first week, you get a notification that says call the new person that you added and just do a simple script like this. Nice and easy. All right, number 2, send them an item of value. So week number 2, this is anywhere inside of week 2, we're going to send them some sort of an item of value. This doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something that costs money. And I think this is where people kind of start getting sideways on this, and then it goes downhill from here. An item of value is different to every person. It doesn't always mean it has to be financial, right? So it can be money, right? They might say, or maybe you met them at Starbucks, or they say they really like Starbucks or Dunkin'. Your item of value that you send them might just be a $5 Dunkin' gift card or a $5 Starbucks gift card. Nice and easy, no big deal. But it might just be something that ties into what you talked about, right? So maybe they're saying that they're thinking about selling and they're not sure because they don't know how much money they're going to clear, right? So obviously we're closing for an appointment, but if we didn't get an appointment, maybe you send them our app so that they can play around with what they think the house is worth and see what their net is going to be, right? Nice and easy. Maybe they talked about looking for houses and you have a real estate app that you can send them where you can share houses and they can look at houses. You might send them that. Maybe it's just a connection, right? Maybe they talked about that they need a handyman or woman to do, I don't know, something in the kitchen, right? Your item of value might just be that connection. It might be connecting them to someone that's valuable to them at the moment so that they can get the help they need. It can be digital, it can be physical, or it can be some sort of a connection, right? We might send a digital Starbucks card, a physical Dunkin' card. We might send them a piece of technology like our app, or we might send them a person. Whatever it is, we just need to send them something so that they know, hey, we're the resource, right? And whatever it is, we just need to send them something somewhere in that second week because they're already starting to forget about us, no matter how good of an impression that we made. And we've only talked to them once, maybe twice in 2 weeks now. And they're just living life, right? So they're forgetting about us. The item of value is a way to reconnect with that. Nice and simple. Number 3, this is week 3. So now in the 3rd week, we've met them. Then we made a phone call. Then we sent them an item of value. And then sometime in week 3, we're just going to check in or confirm that item of value, right? So it's just going to be, hey, Joe, it's Ryan. Just wanted to make sure you got the Starbucks gift card I sent you. Or, hey, Joe, it's Ryan. Just want to make sure you got the app and we're able to download it. Or, hey, Joe, it's Ryan. Just wanted to make sure you got in touch with Harold from Harold's Handyman, whatever. We just want to make sure. So we're reminding them, first of all, that we sent them an item of value is key, right? Just to make sure they know that we care about them. Then we're figuring out, did they use it? So if we sent them the Starbucks card and they didn't use it yet, they're going to go to Starbucks today and use it. And then we're going to get a text or a picture or thank you later. Or maybe it's the app. Maybe you sent it to them and they didn't download it. Or they couldn't figure it out. This is your opportunity to fix that. Or maybe they just didn't get in touch with the person, Harold from Harold's Handyman. Maybe we connected them, right? And Harold tried to call them or they tried to call Harold, but they didn't connect. And then life happened and they forgot. And it's been a week. Now we're re-inviting them to connect now. So we're just re-engaging with something super simple. Again, this is one of those texts that you see, it ends up being two lines, right? Because after the you got, it's just one of those 3. So this is a 2, maybe a 3-line text, something super simple, super quick. We could send this thing in 30 seconds, but it's re-engaging. So now we've met them. And then over 3 consistent weeks, we've stayed in touch with them, which is more than any other salesperson is doing with them. So we have a leg up here for sure. Then we're going to move to week 4. Week 4 is going to be some sort of a social media connection. So if you found them on social or if you sync your contacts to social media, so when you add a contact, it tries to find them on social. This is an easy one, right? And you're just going to say, hey, Joe, and we're going to share them, our real estate business page, or maybe our personal page, or our Instagram page. We're just going to share them something. We're trying to connect with them across different mediums. So we've already done a call. We've done some sort of an item of value. We've done a text. And now we're trying to grab them on social media because we want to figure out, how do they like to communicate, right? Did they like text? Did they answer that text in 2 seconds, but they never answered our call? Did they answer us on social media, but never answered our text? It doesn't matter. We're just trying to learn about this person, get them stuck in our web, and get connected to us across a whole bunch of different platforms. So the social connection, hey, Joe, this is my real estate page. I was hoping you would like it or even share it for me. I share some great deals, some homeowner tips, and great connections to my preferred vendors in here, and it's totally free. And then you're just going to ask them if you can do a follow for follow, right? Or do something to help them. So do you have any business pages or social media that needs some extra followers? So maybe they have a side hustle or a business that could use more people, and this is a perfect way to interact. This is nice and simple. It's not heavy pressure, right? It's not very salesy. The goal with this, though, is not just to send it through the mass invite tool on the business page, right? We want to send them an actual invite, whether it be email, whether it be through text or whether it be through like Facebook Messenger or Instagram direct messages. Whichever one it is fine, but we're not just trying to send out the mass junk one that goes to notifications. We're trying to connect with them here and let them know that if they have a business we're interested in connecting, or maybe cross marketing, to be able to grow both of our followers. We want to use this as leverage to be able to grow, of course, our stuff, but also if it helps them grow their stuff, then they see value in us for helping them do that as well. So this is super simple, nothing that's been hard so far, right? All of these things are like less than 1 minute activities each time. And again, they're for when we meet new people. So how many people, how often are we really meeting new? A couple a week? This is not something that's hard. It's something that's very scalable. Number 5, the Your Story video. This is going to be a quick video that all of you guys should have. This is something that you should have either on your business page or maybe on your YouTube channel. It's just kind of like a personal intro commercial. It could be anywhere from 30 seconds to like maybe 5 minutes at the max. And the goal of this is just to make you a human to people and to let them know what you're into, right? So this, it can be, you know, a little bit of real estate in there, but I don't want you just saying, this is who I am, this is where I work, this is the company that I work for, and they're the best because blah, blah, blah. You know, we don't want it to look like a recruiting thing. We just want it to be something that is very you, right? So my story might be, it could just be a phone video, right? This doesn't have to be a high quality, super crazy production level thing. It's just letting them know that you're a human and what you're into. So it might be, you know, my name's Ryan McHugh. I work with Trident Title, Performance Title, and Synergy Title. I really love living by the beach. One of the reasons that I moved to Florida was, you know, lifestyle. I wanted to live an outdoor lifestyle where I could be as close to the beach as possible and play in the water with my dog every day. I enjoy cycling, and I love, you know, donating money or my time to animal rescues and kids sports, because those are things that I'm really into, and I think I've kind of helped craft my life. So these are things that I do, and with every transaction that I do, you know, I donate, I don't know, $25 to the dog rescue, and I buy a hockey stick for kids that are in the hockey program, whatever. Something that's showing them who you are, right? This is where your mission statement is in. It's not how many letters I have after my name, how many houses I've sold, what company I work for, what designations I have. Nobody cares about that stuff. I hate to tell you, but the goal here is to get them to connect with you on a personal level so that they know you, like you, and trust you, and want to do business with you based on who you are personally. And a lot of times you'll get business just from this little video, because if somebody, you know, you just watched my video and they also donate money or work for a dog rescue or whatever, you guys have that instant connection that right away, you know, they like you, they know you, they trust you because you have some common values or things that you both believe in. So it makes it much easier to just close, right? It's not that hard then. There's a lot of times where you'll win business just because of your mission statement or who you are, what you do, not necessarily because of your experience or your credentials. So just keep that in mind. This is something that's easy to make. You should just put it on YouTube and have it so that you always have something like this, and you can always just share it out with one click, right? This is very easy. If you had this saved on YouTube right now, you could just make a click, you know, you could share it, you could drop it in an email, you could put it in social, whatever. And it's very, very easy to do. All right, number 6, the unsolicited CMA. So now we're into week 6. And our goal here is, of course, if we have their exact address, to send them an unsolicited CMA, just to let them know what their house is worth and see if it sparks an interest or a conversation. But a lot of times we might not, right? We've only known these people for 6 weeks, but maybe we got an idea of where they live. Maybe they said, well, I live in downtown West Palm, or I live on the ocean in Highland Beach, or I live in Wellington, right? And what most people do is they stop at this step because they say, oh, I don't know their address. How am I supposed to do that? Figure out where they live. And if you want to dive in and, you know, do some creeping in the tax records or whatever, you can do that. But just in common conversation, when you're talking to these people, you're going to find out where people live, right? It always just kind of comes out. And if you just get a town, right? Let's just say, you know, that the person lives in downtown West Palm. Your unsolicited CMA, it could just look like a neighborhood or an area or a market update in that area. So let's use the West Palm example, right? Let's say you met them downtown. Maybe you were at happy hour downtown West Palm and you met them there. And in the conversation, you're asking them, you know, do you live around here? Or, you know, is this where you always go out? And they say, oh, I live downtown, right? So your connection or your next piece that you're going to send is just like a market update on what's going on downtown, because there's a good chance over the last 2 or 3 years, They might just have been living life and they don't know everything that's happened in the real estate market. We know it every day because we're in it all day, every day, paying attention to real estate. But there's a lot of people that over the last 2 or 3 years have been focused on surviving and raising their kids and eating and paying their bills and working their job, and they haven't looked at the market every day. So a simple unsolicited CMA or unsolicited neighborhood update could just be like, hey, Joe Smith, here's what's happened in the last year in the West Palm Beach real estate market. Downtown condo prices have gone up 15.8%. And based on the average price point being $300,000, that means, the houses have gone up between $45,000 and $50,000 over the last year. So if you've been thinking about selling, it might be the best time. I'd love to come over and check out what your place is worth. There's a good chance it's gained between 30 and 60,000 in value in the last 2 years, right? So we're just trying to get them thinking. We want them to have that conversation at dinner or with their spouse or when they're laying in bed or talking to their family, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe, we might have made 50,000 in equity in this last year or two. Is this time to sell or invest or refi or whatever it might be? So you're using this as a way, of course, to drum up business, but also just to get that conversation starter where you are the focal point of the topic, right? Or of the conversation, because you sent them the thing that sparked this conversation. So don't overthink this one. If you don't know their address or you don't want to do a very detailed CMA, do the town that they live in, the area, the subdivision, whatever. If there's any kind of a way of breaking it down. And if you have no idea, just do the county, right? If they're in Palm Beach County, just do a Palm Beach County overview. And you could just steal some of that data right out of those MLS emails that they send out. Those are great. Nice and easy to be able to just connect with people on a level like that really is just honestly not that hard to do, right? It's a nice, easy connection. All right, number 7, the handwritten note. So again, we're testing different strategies to find out, if this is their hot button, if this is how they like to communicate. Some people love those handwritten notes. So we're testing that out. And this is going to be the last solid touch in the 8-week program before we add them to our database. So we want to make sure that it's a good solid touch and we've hit them across all different mediums. So the handwritten note, this is just something that you buy the blank cards from Marshalls or Home Goods or TJ Maxx or whatever, and just send something like this very basic script with 2 or 3 business cards in there, just solidifying the relationship and making sure they kind of understand that now they're going into the pool of the rest of the database. So it's just going to say, hey, Joe, it's great. It's been great getting to know you over the past few weeks. I really appreciate you connecting and engaging with the things I've been putting out there. Please let me know if there's anything you need in the real estate world, or even just your local community. This might be a time to plug your vendor list or your partners. Looking forward to seeing you, possibly working with you in the future, Ryan. So we're throwing in a couple business cards in there and we're just sending it out. Again, nice and easy. This is week 7 for a reason, because, this is probably the only step so far that costs money. So if, they've been unresponsive since the first time you met them and you don't want to send this, this is where you can kind of start killing it off. But if you've been communicating with them and they've been going through the motions of the other steps, this is a good one to send, because this one takes the most effort and really shows the people that you care. And then week 8. So now we're 8 weeks in. The last step is going to be adding them to your annual database plan so that you can continue the systematic communication. So we've talked to them or tried 7 different things. And then week 8 is more for you to make sure that you slide them over into the annual plan, right? You can't keep up this pace of talking to every single person in your database once a week for 8 weeks. It's impossible, right? So that's why we're only focusing on this with new people that you meet. However, once you throw them into the automation of the big database, then they might start getting some automated touches from you, emails or website things or social media things that just automatically go out where you don't have to do it. But we've used these first 8 weeks to build that mental mind share where you're top of mind. And then the relationship becomes more about maintenance than offense, right? So the first 8 weeks, you're playing offense. You're trying to get to top of mind and make sure they know that you're the realtor of choice. After that, you're on maintenance, where you just want automated touches, automated follow-up, database events, things like that, that instead of it having to be every week, now it's every 2 weeks or twice a month, but one of those is automated. So week 8, you need to make sure you move them out of this plan. The last step of the plan is finishing this plan, right? We're at week 8, we've completed it, and now we're moving them into that annual follow-up plan. So here's what it looks like all together, right? 8 weeks of touches. Week 1 is the "It was great meeting you" script. This is a phone script. You're just going to call and say, "Hey, it was great meeting you at the open house at 123 Main Street on Sunday. Thanks so much for connecting and chatting about while you're looking to move out of downtown into the suburbs or whatever. Number 2, item of value. We're sending them either the Starbucks gift card or our app, or connecting them to someone in our database or a vendor, someone that we know that they need to know. Number 3, the confirmation text, making sure they got number 2, they're using it, and if they need help, we're there for them. Number 4, the social connection. So we're building that social media relationship. Number 5, the Your Story video. We're connecting with them and letting them know a little bit about us, connecting them on more of a personal level so that we can hopefully work together in the future. Number 6, the unsolicited CMA, connecting with them and helping them understand what's going on in their market, whether that's their specific house, their subdivision, their area, their town, or their county that they live in, just so if they've been under a rock for the last 2 or 3 years, they know what's going on in the market and they have the opportunity to take advantage if it's time for them. Number 7, the handwritten note. So a final kind of personalized touch before we add them. And then number 8, we're actually adding them to our main database to get continued follow-up. So whatever program you are using, if you are using a real estate specific database, you can build out custom follow-up plans. And you could build this 8 touches very, very easily, where if you don't know how to do the automation or anything like that, just do a trigger that once a week for the first 8 weeks sends you a notification to do this so that you do the activity. It doesn't have to be too hard. And again, I don't want you to a la carte this. If you just say, well, I like number 1, but I'm never going to do number 2 or 3. And I like 4, but 5 is too much work. And I don't know their address, so I'm not going to do 6 or 7, but then I'll do 8. It's never going to work, right? The goal is you have to do all of these. The whole point is 8 touches over 8 weeks. It's not 3 touches over a random 8 weeks or when we remember. That's not where the value comes in. So make sure you put all 8 of these into play. So in summary, I think you should go build this thing, right? We're out 20 minutes, a half hour early here. So go build this thing now. So you put it into action right now and you don't wait or miss out on doing this. As always, thank you guys from Trident Performance and Synergy. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know. Carrie, thank you as always for making sure the slides and everything looks nice. Coming up 1 week from today, we're doing using LinkedIn job notifications to really fill your pipeline. So this is a LinkedIn strategy that I love. And we're going to teach how to use LinkedIn, how to use technology to load yourself up with future business and future leads. So jump on that 1 week from today, same time, 10 o'clock, and you'll get a new link and the graphics and everything in the coming days. And here's all my contact information. So I will see you guys next time. If you need anything, reach out. My email's on here. My Facebook and my Instagram are on here. And if you're not already in the private Facebook group for whatever reason, go to the bottom and see that. Search on Facebook, Ryan McHugh Real Estate Trainer Inner Circle, request to join, and I will add you in. If you have any questions, I will stay on and hang out for a minute or two. And other than that, thank you guys for being on. Thank you for your business. And if there's anything we can do, give us a yell.